This video is a step-by-step tutorial that will teach you how to replace a broken cable that is located inside of the machine. All operators must wear proper safety equipment, including steel-toed boots, earplugs, safety goggles, and gloves. Displayed on screen are the tools required for this repair. Before performing any actions on the machine, ensure that the lift is on level ground. Begin by removing the fork assembly from the fork carriage by taking the pin out and sliding the forks down as such. Remove the fork assembly from the area you will be operating. Then, fully lower the fork carriage to the bottom of the mast. Then proceed to unwind the cable from the winch reel. Loosen the cable keeper, also referred to as the rope clamp. You will then remove the cable from the winch reel. Remove the cable keeper kit from the winch reel. Before tipping back the machine, ensure the hold down bar is engaged. Stack 2 wooden stringer pallets on top of each other. This will be the support that the lift will be tilted back on. Ensure that the push tube handle has been adjusted to the highest slot closest to the winch. Tilt the material lift back and lower it onto the supporting pallets. It is highly recommended that 2 or more technicians lower the lift. Only perform by yourself if you are highly experienced. The mast should be parallel to the ground and the fork carriage should be facing upward. The push tube handle must be centered towards the middle of the pallet. Begin by removing the damaged cable that is inside of the machine by pulling part of the cable out from the upper pulley on the first mast. You will then remove the other portion of the damaged cable by first removing the cap screw that attaches the swaged end to the termination bracket. After the hardware has been removed, pull the remaining cable out from the inside of the machine. Slide each mast section back slightly. This will reveal all of the mast downstops. Remove all of the mast downstops. Remove the fork carriage from the machine and any remaining mast sections until the machine is left with the first mast and 1 center mast. The amount of mast sections removed will vary based on the model of the machine. Slide the center mast forward. This will reveal the upper pulley on the first mast. Attach a piece of duct tape to the end of your feeder cable, as shown here. This will make it easier for the feeder cable to travel through the pulley assemblies. Insert the feeder cable through the first pulley. Make sure that the cable travels through the white UHMW block. Continue to slide the feeder cable through the first pulley until the cable appears at the bottom of the first mast. Use a ratchet to remove the pulley that is located at the top of the center mast. Insert the end of the cable through the bottom white block and then into the pulley. As you continue to feed the cable through, the end will appear at the upper portion of the center mast. Reapply red Loctite to the end of the pulley bolt. It is crucial to ensure that the pulley guard index hole is aligned to the index point on the pulley mount. Install the cable through the pulley, making sure that upon mounting the pulley, that the end of the cable has passed through the white block and the pulley guard index hole aligns with the index point on the pulley mount. Tighten the cap screw and torque to specification. As you slide the mast forward, continue to pull the cable through the machine until it is to the bottom of the mast. Blue Loctite must be reapplied to the mounting screws that go in the downstop. Attach the downstop and install the flathead screws as shown. Do not over-tighten the bolts inside of the block. Install the next appropriate mast section into the machine. You will now repeat these steps for each remaining mast section until it is time to install the fork carriage. Remember to add blue Loctite to these bolts. Remember to add blue Loctite to these bolts. Install the end of the cable through the white block and into the pulley of the fork carriage. Insert the fork carriage into the front mast, as demonstrated here. Attach the final mast downstop, making sure to reapply blue Loctite to the bolts. Remove the piece of duct tape that is attached to the end of the feeder cable. You will now butt splice the end of the existing cable that is in the machine to the end of the new cable assembly by using layers of duct tape. This will enable you to feed the new cable assembly through the mast. Apply an additional layer of duct tape for extra support. You are now ready to pull the replacement cable through the entire mast assembly. When the swaged end of the replacement cable has reached the cable termination bracket, along with the butt spliced end making it through the last pulley, you are ready to move forward. Make sure that the small portion of cable that is inside of the swage is facing downwards towards the pulley. Locate the fastener hardware that is needed to attach the swaged end of the cable to the cable termination bracket. The rounded edge of the washer should be facing down when placed upon the bolt. Install the swaged end of the replacement cable to the upper termination bracket. Use a wrench and your index finger to push the bolt inward, while simultaneously using your thumb to push the swage forward as far as possible. Use a ratchet to tighten the bolt to the termination bracket. Complete the tightening with 2 hand wrenches. Next, you will disengage the hold-down bar. Begin to pull the cable from the bottom of the machine. This will move the fork carriage towards the cable termination bracket. The cable swage needs to be centered in the hollow portion of the fork carriage. If it is not centered, simultaneously pull up on the swage while pushing down on the bolt with the wrench. You will then slide the fork carriage to the very bottom of the front mast and re-engage the hold-down bar. Relocate the butt spliced end of the cable. Remove the duct tape and discard the old cable. Have 2 operators tilt the machine back onto the ground as demonstrated here. lower the push tube handle to the second slot from the bottom. Before moving forward, you must ensure that the fork carriage has been lowered all the way to the bottom of the front mast. You will now thread the new cable onto the winch reel. The cable must be wrapped 4 times around the winch reel. Double check and make sure that the fork carriage remains fully lowered during this process. Locate the oval-shaped hole on the winch reel. Make sure that it is aligned in this position before threading the cable through it. Pinch the cable together and tuck the end of the cable into the open space. If the length of your cable is longer than what is shown here, you will need to cut the excess cable until it is to the appropriate length. Relocate your cable keeper kit and partially tighten it to the winch reel. Pinch the cable and install it through the keeper to retain the cable. Continue to firmly hold the cable inside of the keeper as you fully tighten the cable keeper to the winch reel. After fully tightening, ensure that the edge of the cable is aligned to the edge of the winch reel. If these are not aligned, there may be excess cable that still needs to be cut. The cable replacement was done correctly if the winch looks like this. Thank you for watching this video. For more information, please visit www.liftsmart.net.